that cute?
Was that cute, baby trash cans? We're trying something different.
Yeah. Erica thought that might be cute. Did you smile?
Was joy brought to you by this podcast at any point in the last year?
Was that like the dimples, but for your ears? Ew. I fucked up.
Well, baby trash cans, it's been 52 episodes, which means we are 1 year old.
1 year.
One,
you know? Or as certain moms say, 12 months old. 12 months.
We're 12 months. And we wanted to just come on here and say thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts.
Yes.
And we wanted to show you a flashback to our very first episode when we were still figuring it out.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's not going to be... I don't believe that there's a theme song. There's certainly no segments. We're just kind of winging it.
We were raw. We were young, fresh talent on the block.
Mm-hmm. And now we're hardened and a year old and controversial figures.
Yes, and we have heard from so many of you. You've told us why you're trash. You've submitted stories. You've written a review. You've told a friend about this podcast. All things that have helped us grow and get to this point. And we are just eternally grateful.
Yeah, we appreciate it so much. We love the shit out of you. Can't get enough. Ooh, if I could give you all a little kiss. One forehead after another. Just mwah. And then a mwah. With consent. Absolutely. It'd be one of those things like where it's like, yeah, like anyone, hand on your heart if you do not want to be touched. Everyone else, I'm giving you a kiss.
Oh my goodness. Cass, have you done anything trashy this week?
Always. Doi. It's me. I was at a bachelorette party this last weekend, and I danced in a club. Like
up in the club?
With music and people. It was crazy.
That's amazing.
I can tell you why I'm really trash, though, if you really want to know. Just real fast. I'll tell you real quick if you want to know.
I'd love to know.
I am becoming an old, hardened individual because there was a couple moments this weekend where I was like, I'm going to like go Karen. Like I'm going to ask for a manager.
Oh no. Did you?
I don't. No, I didn't. No, I suppressed it. I'm like, where did your chill switch go? Like, I think it was because it was like 117 degrees, like no joke, the whole time, that literally it was just like, can they stop bussing our table for a second? We're here and still eating. I was just like, I was a server for a decade. Like never in a million years would I actually have gone up to a manager and said, hey, your bus boys are working too hard, or hey, the server should be asking us if we want another cocktail. But I was having those thoughts, those dark, evil thoughts.
I love it. I love it.
I feel so much shame.
I was in Mexico, and at certain points I wanted to be like, ¿Dónde está the manager of Mexico? Can I please speak with someone? So many things went wrong during my trip that I was like, who do I contact about this? How do I fix this? And I just had to like,
weirdest thing.
Suck it up.
Yeah, like who the fuck do I think I am? Like, what, I got a year of a great podcast under my belt and suddenly I think I deserve justice for everything? Sit down, bitch. That's what I need to hear. I told it to myself though. Please don't say that to me on Instagram. I will cry.
Oh my goodness.
I'll cry. Are you hoarding anything? Are we just doing the whole thing?
Yeah, I'm hoarding I Think You Should Leave season 2. I Think You Should Leave is a sketch show by Tim Robbins on Netflix, and season 2 just came out, and it's some of the hardest I've ever laughed.
Erica?
Yes?
I think season 1 is significantly better.
That's fair. I'm just excited about season 2 happening.
Yeah, I'm not trying to rain on your parade, per se. I'm just saying, you know what? Never mind. Go on. Cut all that.
Karen.
Cut all that. They don't need to know. Yeah, I know, it's me. I'm making myself sick. No, there was a couple times where I did like LOL out loud. And it honestly, watching it, because the episodes are so short, it prompted me to then rewatch season 1, which is a fucking delight. So,
Are you hoarding anything?
Did I already hoard Loki?
I hoarded Loki.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, my Marvel ass. Well, here's what I am hoarding. Ooh, today I had a vegetarian club sandwich. I'm talking egg, okay? But like fake bacon and fake chicken, tomato, ripe, lettuce, some sort of vegan mayonnaise spread on a toasted sourdough. I got it from some sort of healthy place. Well, even though that wasn't a healthy choice, but it was the one I wanted. Oh fuck, it was so good. I mean, like, this is such a lame thing for me to hoard because none of you can have it. None of you can get it. It was at a spot in Palm Springs. What are you going to do? Drive to Palm Springs and get it? Yeah, you should because it was so fucking good. I love sandwiches and I've been really, really trying to be good about not eating meat at all. I feel a lot better cutting it out of my diet, but I needed this. I needed to know that there was light at the end of the tunnel with this vegan club or vegetarian club, excuse me.
Oh, that makes me very happy for you.
Oh, so good. Whew.
Oh,
so
my goodness. Good. Well, again, thank you all for listening. Thank you for telling a friend. Help us continue to grow in the year to come.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to our weird, like, Mark Maron buildup. Should we start playing guitar?
I think so. Yeah. Lock the gate, as they say.
Folks. Sorry. I think that's like a podcast rite of passage. Like once you've been doing a podcast consistently that you know you're not going to go away, you have to start making fun of Mark Maron. It's just how it works.
Oh my goodness. Hey, Cass.
What's going on, girl?
Stay garbage.
Ugh, you stay garbage. Let's one more year.
One more year. Let's do it. Cheers to a year.
Love you.
Love you all. Bye.
Bye, baby.
Hello and welcome to Trashy Trashy, the podcast where we discuss all things garbage people. My name is Erica Curry.
And I'm Cassandra Cardenas.
And we're two trash-loving creeps.
Just a couple of little dumpsters.
Just allowed to walk amongst you and just dumpster fires we see everywhere.
Have you ever seen people who paint faces on their trash cans? I think that's us.
Yes, emoticons through trash cans.
Yeah.
Now, Cass, what are your trash credentials?
I have to poop right now. Sorry, that's too trashy. My trash credentials. Let's see. I'm 30. I'm poor. I drink too much. I have to set Instagram like time limits on my phone for myself. And then every single day I say ignore limit. The same happens with Twitter a lot. I name every group chat I'm in, which is so annoying of me. That's about our trash credentials, right? That makes sense? Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
What are your trash credentials?
I'm 33. I'm also poor. I grew up in a trailer house, a double wide. It was bricked, but it still counts.
Fuck yeah.
I also ignore all of the time limit on my apps. When I was little, I put ketchup on my mashed potatoes. I would organize massive trades in our school cafeteria for like rolls and things like that. Chicken strips for rolls, for mashed potatoes, and I would get in trouble for orchestrating these 3 or 4 way trades between students where one kid would just get like a plate of mashed potatoes.
I mean, this doesn't sound trashy as much as it sounds like your potential was stifled and that you could have been a very successful leader.
Thank you so much for acknowledging my leadership skills through trash.
I mean, to pull that off, that's incredible.
Ay, so I say.
I don't think I knew that you grew up in a trailer house. I mean, it doesn't... How do I say this without being rude? It doesn't surprise me. It just more like I didn't know that was what happened.
Yeah, I guess I just don't think about it.
My mom lives in a trailer house now. I guess a lot of old people just live in trailer houses.
Yeah.
They love it.
I mean, it was bricked. It was nice, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I moved around a lot as a child. So now I move around a lot as an adult. It's hard to stay in an apartment for more than a year.
It really is, but you have a wonderful place.
I'm moving, though.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's get into this week's stories.
I was almost going to do the TMZ sound.
Karen calls black woman a good little slave for wearing her mask at a bus stop. Now,
Yeah.
the woman defends herself by saying that she's a person of color as well and that she's Mexican, and that's why she's allowed to say good little slave.
Yeah. It was a weird vibe. She said, well, first of all, look, do I think anyone's right? Like, I don't think this Karen is correct, but I will say that, like, she made more sense when she was justifying, I'm calling you a slave because you're wearing a mask like all the other slaves. That, to me, says, my point of view is sheeple wear slaves and, that Joe Biden is a lizard person. But when you then double down and be like, but it's cool because I'm also a person of color, it's like, no, hold on. You were making somehow more sense before just being one of those people who doesn't want to wear masks. Mm-hmm. It was a bad look for this Karen.
And do we know where this took place? If I had to put money on it, I would say Orange County.
I'm going to guess Florida because most bad happens in Florida.
The most bad does happen in Florida. It is.
Have you been to Florida, Erica?
I've been to Tampa, Florida, which is the
Nice.
armpit of the universe. And I've been to Orlando.
Yeah, I've been to Orlando twice. And once, like, with my mom for, like, a Disney World vibe, and then another time to compete in a show choir competition. So, like, I did some super Florida things, but I don't know. Like, that place sucks.
Can I tell you, I went to Florida for my senior trip when I was graduating from high school, like our school sponsored senior trip. And I had the option to go to Disneyland, like fully paid, go to Disneyland. And instead I opted to go to the mall.
Oh, Erica.
That's how much of a garbage person I am, is I went to an out of state mall thinking that was going to be more exciting than Disney World.
Did you buy anything?
Oh, I bought a rhinestone cross tank top from Nikki Hilton's line.
Oh, no.
And was ecstatic about it. Again,
Of course you were.
that's how garbage I am.
Why did they give people the option? We didn't have, like, and I didn't go on my senior trip because I was fucking too sick for that. Not like physically sick, like I was a piece of trash and I didn't want to go. I didn't like doing social events that made me one of the norms. But why did they give you the option? If they're taking you out of state, it seems like it shouldn't be a multiple choice trip.
So the first 2 days we had to go to Universal. Those were paid for.
Yeah.
And then we had like a free day where we could choose what we did. And everyone else chose to go to Disney World. And I chose to go to the mall with a couple of girlfriends.
Are they sad about it now?
I haven't stayed that close in touch with them, so I wouldn't know. I also went to a gourmet McDonald's that night.
What?
So they have, in Florida, Orlando specifically, they have gourmet McDonald's, which are like, they had like spaghetti carbonara they had like fancy dishes as well as like Big Macs and French fries.
You ever feel like you give all your credentials and then you realize you're in over your head?
Yes.
Like, I don't know if I'm trashy enough to like hear that and not crumble. That's crazy.
Yeah, I had like a shrimp pasta dish and a Big Mac and was like, I'm living life.
There's a Denny's in Vegas that sells salmon. Someone I know who I used to be on another podcast with said it was some of the best salmon she's ever had. And I'm just like, what? Why did you order the salmon from a Denny's on it's like on the strip, but it's like down where the stratosphere is, where it's like, yeah, I guess that's the strip, but no one's over there.
Yeah, technically the strip, but not
like it's
realistically.
somehow 10 degrees hotter down there for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, that's so crazy. A gourmet McDonald's in a mall. Yeah, I mean, that's probably better than Disney World, right?
Now, 10 years later, when I actually went to, or 5 years later, when I went to Disneyland for the first time, I was kicking myself.
I mean, hot tip on Disney World is just basically like, well, I guess it sounds like it's cooler. It's like Disneyland, but bigger. Like, it's very similar. I think when I went to Disney World, I'd been to Disneyland so many times in my lifetime that I was like, oh, this is like the same shit-ish. I don't know what I was expecting. I think I was expecting like a whole new like theme park, just like top to bottom, new stuff, different movies.
Yeah.
101 Dalmatians ride.
One day I'll go to Disney World. I just, I left it there. I played it all out on the field.
You're like Disney adult adjacent, aren't you?
I am. I used to have a pass.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, if we want to talk about trash,
Disney adults are trash.
You know that's like on the top of my list of like when I'm dating, and if I get a whiff of a Disney adult, I'm out.
Can I tell you the trashiest tattoo I've ever seen?
Yeah.
It was a set of matching, so his and hers. Disney, like the Disney Mickey Mouse, like the ears, but inside of it was filled with the Blue Lives Matter flag.
Oh God. Wow. I did not see that coming. His and hers, so like one of them still had a Minnie Mouse bow.
Oh yeah, like matching.
Whoa. Where did that take place? I mean, we probably don't know, but like I think
the greater internet, yeah, somewhere I assume in Southern California.
Really? Yeah, totally. Why not? Orange County. They're nuts down there. Oh my God. That's awful.
Yeah.
I hate that so much.
They are the Florida of California.
Yeah, the OC for sure. Because it's also like, there's some people down there with like a ton of money.
Oh, a shit ton of money.
How Florida is too. It's like, what? But then
you have money and you choose to live there.
So I had to visit my cousins. They were doing like a Knott's Berry Farm trip. I don't know, ill-advised Knott's Berry Farm trip. And so they were staying in a hotel room near Knott's Berry Farm. If you are not in California, there's a city called Anaheim, California. It's where I was born. That should have been part of my trash credentials. But there's Disneyland, Knott's Berry Farm, medieval times, and then like a hockey stadium and also a baseball. Anaheim's crazy. It's not that big. It has all of those things inside. But what I learned from going and visiting my cousins in a hotel in Anaheim was like, oh, I got to stop and get beer really fast, because Shorty got to get her drink on. And I stopped at a 7-Eleven in Anaheim and I was like, why the fuck do I feel like I'm on the set of Breaking Bad right now? Like, Anaheim is so well up. The upkeep is only centered at these big places. The rest of it is fucking terrifying. Like meth, no teeth, just like weird, like, oh, it's intense.
Yeah, I've spent a fair amount of time at Anaheim in Disneyland. I've spent a amount of time at that hockey arena because I'm a hockey person.
Same.
And that is some true trash as well.
Yeah. What, being hockey people?
Being hockey fans in Southern California where ice does not exist.
But it's so fun because they get in fights.
And that's all I want is the bruisers.
Same. I'm like, put him on the ice. Who is the one on the Kings who got in a lot of fights a long time? Kyle Clifford. Put Kyle Clifford on the ice.
Oh,
he's going to knock someone out.
Was my boy for the Ducks. And I was just like, get in a fight.
Are you a Ducks fan?
I'm a Ducks fan.
Oh my God. And look at us. I'm a Kings fan. True rivals.
But yet we come together for our love of trash.
Yeah,
right.
I like going to hockey games too because you can like say fuck in the stands. I don't know if you can, but I do. It's a little less family friendly.
Walking fights like with rival fans while wearing like my Ducks jersey. Oh fuck you! Like walking out of the stadium. And if you know me in real life, I am a very calm.
I was just thinking that. I was like, you're the nicest person, but it's just so funny. You get wrapped up in a moment.
Something about hockey really riles me up, and I've gotten into screaming fights with fans.
That's so funny. Speaking of screaming,
let's move on to our next story.
Yeah.
Great White, the band that famously killed 100 people after setting off pyrotechnics inside of a small club, is at it again. The veteran rockers played a concert in Dixon, North Dakota this past Thursday with no social distancing or any other safety protocols. The concert was part of a series called First on First, which flaunts the fact that no safety restrictions amid the coronavirus pandemic. We do not have restrictions, believe in it, and we don't have any, April Getz, an event coordinator for the series, told the Dixon Press.
Okay. First and foremost, how do you kill 100 people and not be like, and never play music again? Do I take trauma too seriously?
No, Cass, we're both improvisers at some point in our lives. How do you get 100 people to a show?
Oh, I know, truly. That's really what's up. Like,
how do you get 100 people to a show to kill?
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
that sucks.
They're garbage.
I'm saying that, I don't know why I think about this constantly, but I do. If I just saw someone die in front of me, I don't know if I'd be like, okay. And so to watch 100 people, I'm going to guess, burn alive, because when I wanted to make sure that when I hit my guitar solo, there was fire. Holy guacamole. That's fucking scary.
I don't know how they aren't completely traumatized.
Yeah.
Or how they continue to go on. Like, I don't love anything so much that I could watch or know I'm the cause of that death.
Yeah.
And continue to do that thing.
Let's think about it this way. People get divorced when their children die, and it's not their fault, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So why should you think about it this way? I don't know. But, like, to me, you just killed 100 fans who are probably there to see the band after you. And show must go on. Maybe they're heroes.
I mean, are they trash icons?
Yeah, we should come up with what a trash icon is.
For sure.
I don't know. Yeah, North Dakota is not taking the coronavirus seriously.
No, there's like pockets of states where like they just refuse to admit it exists.
Yeah, which is bad. My brother's girlfriend is from North Dakota, and she was supposed to be in a wedding that actually is happening today or yesterday. I don't know. I mean, it's happening. 300 people.
That's too many people.
Yeah. She didn't go. She was like, I'm sorry, I'm not doing this. She lives in California. She's like, it's not safe for me. You guys don't want me to expose. In reality, she's like, I'm not going to go and be at a 300 person wedding. No. I think that no matter if you live in somewhere where there's no coronavirus, but you know that the coronavirus is happening, don't you think that like 300 people is a little bit of a middle finger to everyone else?
Oh, 100%. I find myself to be a somewhat sociable person, and I don't think I could find 300 people to invite to my wedding.
That's when it's like people are bringing their families and their parents. Like you send out, save the date, or here's the invitation, and then you go, yes, I will be there. I will be eating the chicken, and also +8 because I'm bringing my husband, my 3 kids, my parents who you met once, and also my grandpa because he can't be alone. Like, everybody's coming to a seated dinner on your special day.
Yeah, that better be a buffet to get them through it quick. There's no...
Yeah. One time my mom took me to a wedding for someone that she worked with. And like, I don't know if we were invited.
You crashed?
I don't know. Like, because I remember being young and I remember her being surprised that we were there. But like, we didn't stay for the reception. I don't know. It was like in a church. Anyone can come to the church, right?
I guess. Yeah.
I don't know. You and I know that my religious upbringing was a little scattered. Yeah. Unclear.
I one time went to a wedding that I was invited, and I don't remember now if I got a +1 or not, but I brought a plus one.
Mm-hmm.
And it was somebody that the couple had like specifically not invited, but I was not aware of that.
Oh no.
And so they were like, "Oh, we're so glad to see you."
Yikes. Whoopsies.
Whoopsie. Yeah, that was pretty trashy of me.
You got a band called Great White, after the shark, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
I hope.
Also,
and then they issued an apology.
Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry we played a show.
Let me see. I'll read their weird apology. We understand that there are some people who are upset that we performed this show during this trying time. We assure you that we worked with the promoter. North Dakota's government recommends masks be worn. However, we are not in a position to enforce the laws. We had the luxury of hindsight, and we would like to apologize to those who disagree with our decision to fulfill our contractual agreement. The promoter and staff were nothing but professional and assured us of the safety precautions. Our intent was simply to perform our gig outside in a welcoming small town. We value the health and safety of each and every one of our fans, minus the 100 that we killed, as well as our American and global community. We are far from perfect. Are you fucking kidding me?
Honestly, I'm going to end every email with, "I am far from perfect" from here on out.
No, you just say we. You collect them in there. We are far from perfect.
We are far from perfect. That's my new email signature.
That's so fucking funny. Yeah, like, what do you mean, the luxury of hindsight? What? There's the luxury of foresight right now. That's what it's called, foresight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we've got the luxury of foresight. Yeah.
We have the luxury of foresight where, like, this is a fucking pandemic. We're not recording this together because you and I have the luxury of foresight.
The luxury of foresight is keeping me in my spare room.
Yeah. I'm in a walk-in closet right now.
Oh, the luxury that we both have.
I know. We should take back when we said we were poor.
Speaking of poor, some people got a poor experience at national parks.
Yes. That was a great segue. I liked it.
Some people go to the Yelp pages of national parks and leave them 0 and 1 star reviews. And we've rounded up a handful of these. I think it's pretty trashy to review nature.
I agree wholeheartedly with that.
So this one is from Yosemite National Park. Trees block view and there are too many gray rocks.
I mean, that's fair. But, like, what are the trees blocking the view of? The sky? That's the view. The view is the trees.
I mean, these parks have been around for like 130 years. You know, Yosemite and Sequoia National Park. It's a blessing that we have natural parks so that, like, rich people didn't just buy up all of the pretty views. And these people have the gall to complain.
Gray rocks are ugly, though.
Gray rocks are hideous.
Yeah,
if
I get
only
it.
they were some of those Purple Mountains Majesty.
Oh. Where are those Purple Mountains Majesty, besides in the song?
Great question. I think that's what those people thought they were going to see.
Yeah, probably. I see Purple
another
Mountains
review.
Mm-hmm.
There are bugs and they will bite you on your face, from Sequoia National Park.
Sounds like a personal problem.
I mean, it's rude that they didn't remove all of the bugs.
Yeah, because it's, bugs like those trees. So we all have the luxury of hindsight, I suppose.
Oh, hindsight's such a luxury.
Yeah.
From the Isle Royale National Park, established in 1940. No cell service and terrible Wi-Fi. This was written by an Instagram model. Like, has to be.
Yeah, has to be.
I couldn't get my nature thirst traps out.
Your phone still takes pictures. Or so it's probably someone being like, yes, honey, fine, we can go on this trip, but I need to work. Can you assure me that our Airbnb has Wi-Fi? Yes.
Yes, of course. The listing says it has Wi-Fi.
Yeah. This Wi-Fi is terrible.
Here's something I did not know is that Joshua Tree National Park was only established in 1994.
What?
Yeah, that's so recent.
I mean, maybe that's when they named it like a national park, but like...
Nope, that's when they planted all the Joshua trees. I've got that from high authority.
When they created all that desert?
When they created the desert. This review says the only thing to do here is walk around the desert.
That's fair, and here's why. Because if you don't do drugs, sometimes you don't get what the whole deal is behind Joshua Tree. And like, that's coming from me, a person who does not do drugs. I'm going to Joshua Tree in about 2 weeks, and yeah, but I like wandering around the desert. I think people think it's more than it is, because it's like so close to Coachella and it's close to Palm Springs, where there is a lot to do, that people just assume like, oh yeah, let's do Joshua Tree. It's so fun. Like, we'll get a yurt. And then it's like, okay, like, that's it. You have a yurt.
I do an annual sound bath at Joshua Tree.
Oh, I know we couldn't do I couldn't schedule one because of fucking COVID.
COVID has ruined my annual sound bath where I go and feel very zen, and I recharge for the year. Mm-hmm. I wear my most ridiculous cult leader looking outfit.
You're like a trash onion, you know? Like, that's a new level. That's a new
layers.
Layer. Yeah.
There's layers.
I'm jealous. I wanted that sound bath experience. I wanted to like cry and then fall asleep.
So this is a very personal story. The first time I did a sound bath at the Integratron, which is out in Joshua Tree, I took half of an edible, which was not enough to get me high.
Okay.
I did the sound bath, and I came like 3 times. Just sitting there. It was insane. And then afterwards, I went with a group of people. And so I was trying to gauge where I was and if that was like a normal experience. And I was like, so did anything happen? How do you feel? And like, eventually the story came out and everyone was like, well, you go, girl. But I was like, is this supposed to be happening?
I'm really, I have questions. 3 times? How long? In what span of time?
Within like an hour, like 45 minutes to an hour.
Holy shit. So you just laid there. The recipe is half an edible, an open flowing dress, and a sound bath?
And a sound bath.
And you can come 3 times.
Evidently, I have a unique biology that allowed this to happen.
That's bananas, Erica. No one else had that experience?
No one else. And everyone was like, well, we paid the same $45.
You want to look up a Yelp review. You should see if anybody else has done that. Post it up on Yelp. 5 stars. Would give it 6. Came 3 times in an hour. I don't know what they're doing with these bowls, but they sure do know how to beat my drum.
Oh, God. I can't believe I told that story, but it's true.
Don't edit it out. It's perfect.
Speaking of holes, somebody reviewed the Grand Canyon National Park as a hole, a very, very large hole.
I mean, yeah, dudes. What are they expecting to see? Aliens?
I mean, when I went to the Grand Canyon the first time with my dad, he pulled the like complete Clark Griswold of, well, we've seen it. And we were like, no, we're going to stay for more than 5 minutes. But my dad was like, well, this is it.
I have felt a little, I've been wanting to go to the Grand Canyon, like, especially lately, because it's just like so boring in my house that I'm like, I want to get out of my house. I'll drive wherever. And I do feel that like a little tinge of fear that I'm going to get there, pull over, get out, look and be like, okay, cool. Time to get back in my car and drive 7 hours back home. Like, it seems like something to do on the way to something else.
Yeah, unless you're hiking it or like going down into the canyon itself.
Which I don't do that.
There's not a lot to do. I heard a story about somebody that like sat at the edge of the canyon and just watched the other side for like a whole day and then would move like 40 feet down and do the same thing and the same thing. And it was supposed to be like, you'll never see anything like this and nothing will ever repeat, but I don't buy any of it.
Get a job.
All right. That's enough of that.
So we've got Nick Cannon.
Oh, Nick Cannon.
Nick Cannon was fired for making some anti-Semitic comments. Or was he fired or was he just in trouble? It looks like because...
I believe Viacom let him go.
Okay, Wild 'N Out is over. That explains something. You know, I follow someone on Instagram who was on Wild 'N Out, and he was like, I love you, Nick. Like, thanks for all the years that you had me on this show and stuff. I just assumed that Wild 'N Out got canceled. Also, I just assumed that Wild 'N Out got canceled 10 years ago.
Oh, no, I think it's still going strong.
See, I don't get MTV, so that's fine. But he didn't get fired from The Masked Singer. They're still cool with it.
Right. So Fox remains garbage.
Fox remains garbage. Viacom, out of left field, suddenly has some conscience. Yeah, so he said he was on his podcast with former Public Enemy member Richard Professor Griffin, who was also fired from Public Enemy for making anti-Semitic comments back in 1989.
Yeah.
And he was going off on some anti-Semitic stuff, and then he was kind of just being like, you know, people hate me now because I tell the truth. And Nick Cannon's like, hey, don't be afraid. Like, you're speaking facts, you know, and things like that. And I was frankly like kind of shocked by this. But then why, you know? I
was horrified. Anti-Semitism is trashy. Flat out. Yeah. There's no wiggle room there. It's bad. They were talking about the True Hebrews conspiracy. It's just bad. Overall, I can't believe that 2 adults in 2020 got onto microphones and spewed this hate.
You know, there's something so specific with child stars because Nick Cannon's been famous for a long time. Like, I don't know when he started, but he was probably a teenager at least when he started, you know, becoming Nick Cannon. And so I kind of just, there's no passes here, but I do acknowledge that sometimes people who have always been famous tend to kind of exist on a different plane of existence, not necessarily like better or worse, but they just don't live in the same world as us. I think once you've been famous for long enough, you start to forget and like lose sight of what anything is.
Yeah.
He sucks. No. I mean, this is like a huge shitty bummer, but
there is something about somebody that's been, once you get into the bubble of yes, where everyone around you is a yes man.
Yeah.
And no one's there to like remind you of like what is good and bad anymore.
I think that's why I feel horrified, but I also, again, I don't feel a lot of like surprise because it's like, well, that's fair. Who the fuck is Nick Cannon? Like Nick Cannon he wasn't even an actor. I mean, well, no, he was an actor, but he's known for being himself. He's a personality.
Right.
So yeah, that's pretty bad. We'll see how the Masked Singer handles that going forward. I mean, he's not like the reason people watch.
No, I mean, we watch to see who was behind the mask.
Do you watch that show at all?
I catch clips of it. It's pretty
kind of
wild.
Fun. It's kind of fun.
It's a good time.
Yeah.
I hate that I love it, but I do.
Ken Jeong is like borderline unbearable on it, and yet I'm like, yeah, fuck it, it's fun.
I mean,
it's fun to guess.
It's fun to guess.
That show's kind of littered with problematic people.
Oh yeah,
like you got Nick Cannon hosting, anti-vaxxer extraordinaire Jenny McCarthy. You've got Weirdo McWeirdenson. What's his fucking name? Robin Thicke.
Yeah, problematic.
Problematic for sure. Ken Jeong is just Ken Jeong, like whatever. He's in the Hangover movies, so that's so bad. And then who else? Oh, the girl from Pussycat Dolls. Nicole
Schlesinger?
Something like that.
So, please please, to the Nicole stands, please don't come after me for her last name.
I know. I'm not going to say that there's anything wrong with her. I don't know her. It's fine.
I mean, she started the Pussycat Dolls, so who knows?
That band is so funny. I don't know why. I think that she really just couldn't have a solo career. That's the only explanation for why she would be in the Pussycat Dolls, where no one else sings but her. Mm-hmm. But they're just dancing. Some bops, though, truly.
Some bops. Now, here's something that hits home for me, and that's Oklahoma's anti-vax governor tests positive for coronavirus, but does not regret not wearing a mask.
Jeez.
So Kevin...
what a fucking... You speak from it.
Oh, yeah. Kevin Stitt is the governor of Oklahoma. I think he's a grade A jackass. And he attended Trump's rally last month, and then he tested positive for corona on Tuesday.
What?
Like, I don't regret not wearing a mask. Like, I just don't understand that.
You heard about that party in Texas, right? They had like a COVID party. Like someone had COVID, and then they were like, let's go. Everyone goes and whatever. Or they had I don't know if it was that, or like if they were trying to all get immunity, or if they were like, it was literally just let's have a party in despite of COVID. Either way, some guy who was 30 years old died, and he's being quoted all over the internet, which who knows if this is true, but like he's being quoted all over the internet of saying to his nurse, like, Joe Bluth, I've made a huge mistake,
I've made a huge mistake.
Like, which is like, we shouldn't laugh because he's dead, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, you did. And I'm just wondering, like, if this Oklahoma governor is going to have that like Joe Bluth moment where he's just like, I've made a huge mistake.
I feel like he has no regrets. From all the reports that I read about what he's saying, he's encouraging Oklahomans to do their part, but at the same time has been photographed in public at, busy restaurants, and, Oklahoma's cases continue to rise, and he respects people's rights to not wear a mask.
I don't know. Is it a right?
Your rights stop when my health is infringed, is the way I feel.
I don't know. We gotta take a look at this Constitution. We shouldn't. I have no time to read the Constitution. It's so boring. But
I just read the Cliff Notes.
Yeah, totally. I'm like, what is it like? No, I'm thinking of the Bill of Rights. Ugh, I don't even know if I know the difference. Well, I hope I pray for a speedy recovery for him. I don't want anyone else to die, even if they kind of have it coming.
I don't want to wish anybody ill will, but what do you expect,
Totally.
That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah.
That's all I can say about that. Cass, are you ready for the dumpster fire of the week?
I am.
All right. So
dumpster fire sounds.
Dumpster fire sounds.
That stinks.
So, are you familiar with the Paycheck Protection Program, the PPP loans that the government gave out?
They are to allow small businesses to continue to pay their employees through the coronavirus, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Got it.
So a lot has been done into the releasing of the records of who received those loans.
Okay.
An organization listed as a hate group by the Southern Poverty Law Center has received millions of dollars in government-backed paycheck protection loans, PPP loans, according to the Small Business Administration. So the Center for Democracy and Media was the first to report on the loans, which went to 6 nonprofits for a total of somewhere between $2.3 million and $5.7 million. They only have the ranges, not the exact sums. So some of the organizations went to an anti-Muslim hate group called Center for Security Policy.
Jeez.
A couple of anti-immigration hate groups also received them. Several anti-LGBTQIA hate groups received some of these loans. And the largest loan went to the the American Family Association, which was received up to $2 million in these PPP loans.
That's an anti-LGBTQ organization. I didn't know that these hate groups paid. I didn't know you could get paid to be in a hate group.
It's America. I think anybody can get paid to hate.
These are the types of groups that like donate to political campaigns. Right?
Mm-hmm. So a lot of these were noted to have less than 10 or less employees. And the government has defended it, saying this is what the program is supposed to do. It is helping small businesses.
Sheesh. Looks like a top former official, Brian Fisher, who worked for the American Family Association, he blamed gay men for the Holocaust.
Straight trash.
Yeah, but hey, you know what? He gets to pay his rent. So thanks, America.
Yeah. David Lane, a right-wing activist, posted an article on Tuesday on the AFA website calling Antifa and Black Lives Matters an alliance between two devils of Nazism and communism. Lane blamed this on
Nazism.
Nazism.
I thought when you said Nazism, I thought like it just made him sick to his stomach, and I was like, interesting word, but it's Nazi. That's it. They both work.
I can't read. That's all. That's how trash I am, is I can't read.
Yeah, this is bad.
Yes.
It's really bad. You can't actively be on the side that denies the coronavirus while then benefiting from the coronavirus. Mm-hmm. Why are the people who are the fucking worst doing the best right now?
Great question. I think...
Do you have an answer? I can't believe it. Okay.
I'm in full support of this PPP loans, but I also think you have to like really look at who's applying and like what these are. I mean, this was essentially free money from the government. These are forgivable loans, and I hate that this is who it's going to support.
So, Center for Immigration Studies, founded by white nationalist John Tanton, who has ties to a senior White House advisor, and noted white nationalist Stephen Miller, they received a loan somewhere between $350,000 and $1 million to support 15 jobs. These are the people who spent all spring blaming undocumented immigrants from Mexico and Latin America for spreading the coronavirus in the first place. Said that by them crossing borders is why we have coronavirus. He forgot all about China.
That's, I'm not
blaming China for the coronavirus.
No.
It started there. But like,
it's where it started. This is just fact.
It's just weird that this group hates Mexicans so much that they're willing to just place the blame over there.
I think facts are always something that are fluid with these hate groups.
Yes. Also, like $350,000 to $1 million for 15 jobs.
I was trying to do the math on that. That's pretty outrageous, a monthly salary.
Yeah, like how long do they expect to be out of? Also, why can't you do hate group stuff from home?
Yeah, you don't need to go to the office for a hate group.
Yeah, I mean, sure, like maybe, your psychotic newspaper clippings will pile up a little bit on your home office desk. But like, what kind of offices do these places even have? It seems like it's all from home. I work remotely from a hate group, and I'm actually getting a bonus now.
It's pretty outrageous, I think. Also, a lot of churches got loans, which I'm not calling them a hate group outright, but if you don't pay into a tax system, it's pretty outrageous to me that you receive government funds.
Wow.
That's all I'm saying.
Strong words.
Strong words. And that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. The dumpster fire of the week is definitely like
these PPP loans. Yeah. All right, Cass, what is it that you are hoarding this week?
What am I hoarding? Okay. So what I'm hoarding, I can't throw it away. I can't get rid of it. I just can't help myself. I might need it later. This is like so shitty and trashy in my opinion. I'm hoarding Hamilton. I finally watched Hamilton on Disney Plus. Watched it last night. It was a fucking delight. I thought I was going to be like cool and be like, no, I'm going to go against the grain in the mainstream. And like, this doesn't do enough to acknowledge slavery and blah, blah, blah. And like Lin-Manuel Miranda, like, has, you know, like does his thing. I don't know, but I just couldn't help it. I was like blown away, so impressed. I even like Lin-Manuel Miranda's like weird cry voice that he does when he's singing, and it makes him sound worse. Like, he's got a very nice voice, but when he does this, it sounds bad because he can't cry because he's like, I guess, not that great of an actor. I don't know. It doesn't matter. The Hamilton was so good. So I am trash. Rain it on me.
I can't. I love that for you. I still haven't seen it. I'm holding out.
It is so long.
Did you take a theater break?
They have an intermission. They factor in a 1 minute intermission, which I think is very cute. Obviously, you can pause it and do whatever you want because it's your house. But like, if you want to treat it like a real show, it's like 1 minute intermission, and you're like, I gotta run to the bathroom. Is there a line? You know,
is there a line in my house?
Yeah, exactly. It's very, very good. I really, really recommend it.
I know I have to cave and watch it at some point. I just haven't yet.
Yeah.
That's all. I just haven't yet. I own the soundtrack. I can sing some of the songs from memory, but I just haven't.
You own the soundtrack and you haven't watched it?
I know.
Okay, so this is a thing. So people will get soundtracks to musicals. They did it with Book of Mormon, all these things. I refuse. I hate spoilers. And I need to watch things from the beginning. So
I've only listened to the first like 6 songs. Let's say it's a 4-disc set. I've listened to like the first CD, so I have no idea what happens.
Where are you getting CDs?
I'm just saying, like, in this imaginary
disc set, you can't buy CDs anymore. What are you talking about?
Like, imagine it's broken down into CDs. Like,
I haven't watched Hamilton yet, the live recording, because I don't know. It's 3 VHSs. I just don't know who's the time.
I'm trash because I've only listened to like 6 songs, is all I'm saying.
On CD. That's the worst part.
I just never can change them out, you know?
Oh my God, that's so funny. What do you got? What are you hoarding?
I'm hoarding Legendary on HBO Max.
Yes.
Which is all about the houses of ballroom that do competitions. So I'm currently crushing hardcore on House Ninja. Ballroom is like what came out of the queer scene in like the 80s of like Vogue came out of ballroom. Voguing itself came out of ballroom.
The death drops,
wig flips, every dance move that you've ever seen originated in ballroom.
Pretty much. And especially if you're like a RuPaul's Drag Race person.
Yes.
A lot of the stuff that they do is based off the ballroom.
Is based off ballroom scene. They have the different houses competing against each other, and they have judges, and it is just every outfit, every move, everything is just completely iconic to me. So I can't let go of Legendary.
Don't you just love to hate LaRoche?
Yes.
Oh my God, I know. I will say that HBO Max, its very existence is kind of trash to me right now because I already pay for HBO and then I have to get HBO Max, which costs exactly the same and has everything. So it's like, to me, it's like, oh, no brainer. I'll just switch over. Mm-hmm. But then fucking HBO Max doesn't have their contracts all filed with Roku and with Amazon. So if I want to, it's basically I have to start paying $16 a month for a service that I already have, but I can only watch it on my computer until they get their contracts. This is such first world problems. Like, I have to watch it on my laptop instead of my TV. But it's true.
First world problems are trash problems, and that's okay.
Yeah, that's true. I have one more thing that I'm hoarding.
Okay.
If it's worth it. A lot of restaurants have switched to takeout only because of the coronavirus. And this is not really fancy schmancy restaurants are not immune to this. If you know anything about me, you know I like to spend a lot of money on food and I like to go to fancy restaurants. So right now, some places that I wouldn't normally be able to afford to eat at are doing takeout in a more affordable fashion. And so I ate last night takeout takeout from Vespertine, which
Ooh.
Vespertine is trash in itself. It's in Culver City. The building looks stupid. It's like a weird wavy building. I don't know if this is true, but I'm pretty sure that like you have to take an elevator up, and then when in the elevator, like this is if you're doing the full dining experience, which is like $300 a person. I think people whisper to you in the elevator. If you go to Vespertine's website, it is nothing about food, and it is only like a weird, dark, dialogue-less art film. And with the food yesterday, it came with a VR code to get a photo essay to explain what we were eating. Like, this is trash, bougie excellence. It was fucking Cuban food. It was Cuban food. It was so good. I love Cuban food. I'm Cuban. Yum, 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 yum. Gimme, gimme, gimme. I didn't I scrolled through the essay very quickly because I was like, I don't need you to explain to me your grandmother waking up at 4 a.m. in like Little Havana to start on the plantain. Like, shut up. Just make the food. It was very good though. And it was still $65 a person. So it's still pretty expensive for takeout, but I don't care. I wanted it.
Hey, if you want it, you want it. And this time it's all about tiny indulgences are getting us through.
Exactly.
Well, Cass, thank you so much.
Erica, thank you so much.
And tell people where they can find you online.
Instagram and Twitter, my handle is the same. It's at Cass Cardenas. I'm also on another podcast called The Nooner Podcast. It's on the Smodcast Network. And we record live Tuesday nights, and we'll also pod it on iTunes. So look for us on Nooner. I'm the only female host on the Smodcast Network that I know of. So that's a thing.
You can find us at Trashy Podcast on Twitter.
Yes.
And you can find me on Instagram at Iconic Erica Curry.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, keep on looking for the trash in this world and call it out.
May you have a garbage week.
May you have a very garbage week. Bye.
Thanks.